Welcome to the Cinterra New Hire Safety Orientation. We will be discussing several key components in our critical safety program to ensure the safety and health of all Cinterra employees. You will learn what it means to be a safe worker and how to incorporate safety into your daily activities on and off site. Cinterra employees will follow these rules and all elements of the safety and health program, render every possible aid to safe operations, and report unsafe conditions or practices that cannot be immediately remedied to a supervisor as soon as safely possible. The failure of an employee to adhere to safety policies and procedures can have a serious impact on coworkers and the public and may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination.
Safety is everyone's responsibility. Everyone has the right to report a safety hazard, so the hazard can be corrected. Report all hazards to immediate supervision, safety, or site management. It is your responsibility to follow all OSHA regulations and site safety rules and policies established by Cinterra. Stop work authority. Any employee who reasonably believes that an activity or condition is unsafe is expected to stop work without fear of reprisal from management or coworkers. That employee is also entitled to have their safety concern addressed prior to participating in the work. The stop work process ensures that work performed at Cinterra is done per regulations, company and industry standards, and best management practices.
Workplace violence prevention. Workplace violence includes the act of violence or the threat of violence against coworkers. It can occur on or off site and can range from threats of verbal abuse to physical abuse and assault. For this policy, workplace violence also includes aggressive behavior, workplace harassment, bullying, and intimidation. Cinterra permits no workplace violence. No negative action will ever be taken against an employee for reporting any hazardous situation. Appropriate confidentiality considerations will be taken in every instance of such a report. Weapon policy. To ensure that Cinterra maintains a workplace safe and free of violence for all employees, the company prohibits the possession or use of dangerous weapons on company property or on any assigned job site or inside any company vehicle. All Cinterra workers are subject to this provision, including contract workers and temporary employees, as well as visitors and customers on company property. A license to carry the weapon does not supersede company policy. Any employee in violation of this policy will be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination.
Drug and alcohol-free workplace. It is the policy of Cinterra to maintain a drug and alcohol-free work environment that is safe and productive for employees and others having business with the company and complies with all compliance regulations within our industry. No employee may work while their ability or alertness is impaired by fatigue, illness, prescription drugs, or over-the-counter drugs. Anyone known to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs will not be allowed on the job while in that condition. Notify a supervisor if any coworker is demonstrating signs of impairment that may present a safety or health hazard.
Job Safety Analysis, or JSA. JSAs will be completed prior to any work being started. The JSA is a legal document and needs to be filled out to its entirety and correctly. Every task being completed will have a method of procedure, or MOP, attached to the JSA corresponding with the task. The employee filling out the JSA needs to know the entire scope of the job, the hazard of the job, and hazards of the environment around the job. The purpose of the JSA is to break down each task step and identify individual hazards and mitigations associated with each task step.
Assured Ladder, Assured Grounding Program. Cinterra has developed and adopted the Assured Ladder Program and Assured Grounding Program to provide protection for employees. This program will apply to all ladders used on Cinterra worksites. All ladders will be inspected and color-coded. This program will apply to all extension cords or plug-in cord sets. It will also apply to 3-prong tools and all electrical receptacles of 110 volt, 15, and 20 ampere ratings. All equipment must be inspected according to the program before using it. Incident reporting. Every incident or near miss will be immediately reported to Cinterra site management or safety personnel. In the event of an incident, safety personnel will provide first aid or contact emergency personnel if deemed necessary. First aid kits and eye wash stations are located in the Cinterra office and/or supply connex on site. All Cinterra vehicles are equipped with first aid kits.
Personal protective equipment, or PPE. Cinterra will manage or eliminate hazards in the workplace to the greatest extent possible with engineering controls and work practice controls. However, if such controls fail to provide employees enough protection, employees will be issued personal protective equipment, or PPE, and ensure proper use thereof. PPE minimizes exposure to a range of hazards. Certain PPE will be required at all times while performing work on Cinterra projects. The minimum PPE requirement includes hard hat, steel toe or composite toe boots, Class 2 high visibility vests, ANSI Z87.1 safety glasses, and cut-resistant gloves. Always remember to stay safe. Can the hazard be eliminated? What PPE is needed to complete the task? Have you inspected the PPE?
Spotters. A spotter is required anytime equipment is in operation. The operator will discuss the positioning, backing, movement, and plan with the spotter before starting the job. The operator shall stop the vehicle immediately prior to losing sight of his load or losing sight of the spotter. Spotters will stand on the driver's side of any equipment. It's important that the driver understands your signals, so get together with the driver before any movement and explain the signals that you will use.
Electrical safety. Always assume all electrical equipment is energized until proven otherwise. Only trained and qualified workers can perform electrical work. Always inspect electrical cords before use. Never place cords in high traffic areas without proper protection. All power cords used in the field should be rated for outside use. Always use a GFCI or ground fault circuit interrupter when connecting cords to equipment. Unplug equipment when not in use. Vehicle traffic. Follow all signs pertaining to vehicle traffic and speed. When backing a vehicle, always use a spotter if able. If there is not a spotter available, blow your horn to notify anyone nearby of the vehicle's movement. Never drive over any trenches or areas that have been recently backfilled without being deemed safe. Always wear a seatbelt when driving vehicles on and off site. And remember, follow all posted speed limits while on site.
Heat exhaustion. When the body is unable to cool itself by sweating, several heat-induced illnesses such as heat stress or exhaustion and the more severe heat stroke can occur and can result in death. Prevention. Stay hydrated. Know the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion. Take regular breaks when working in high heat environments. Follow the work rest plan. Lightning stand down. When lightning is within 10 miles, Cinterra calls a lightning stand down and all work must be stopped. During a lightning stand down, workers must be inside their vehicles or nearest grounded shelter for 30 minutes from the last strike within 10 miles. Cinterra safety personnel will let everyone know when they can return to work.
Housekeeping. Clean up your area as you go. You are responsible for your own trash. Be proactive in keeping the job site clean at all times. Before you leave the site or move on to another task, make sure your area is free of all trash, materials, and debris that could cause a tripping hazard. Remember, it is up to you to make safety personal and clean up as you go. Slips, trips, and falls. Be proactive about eliminating tripping hazards to reduce the risk of tripping. Uneven terrain, mud, and equipment ruts can create hazards that lead to slips, trips, and falls. Know where you're walking at all times and always watch your footing. Be aware of changing conditions such as rain and snow that may make the walking surface slippery.
Animals and insects. Employees will not engage or harass any wildlife. When animals or insects pose a threat to your work area, immediately call Cinterra safety personnel or site management. Do not kill, harm, or try to remove any wildlife. Disciplinary and corrective action. Employees will be disciplined for infractions of safety rules and unsafe work practices that are observed, not just those that result in an injury. Care will be taken to ensure discipline does not discriminate. Consistency in the enforcement of safety rules will always be exercised. While safety rules will be enforced rigorously, no one will be punished for reporting unsafe work practices or for reporting an illness or injury. In any disciplinary action, discipline is given to the employee only for violation of safe work policy, not because the employee was injured or filed a workers' compensation claim. Discipline for safety violations will be administered in a manner consistent with Directional Services Incorporated system of progressive discipline. As in all disciplinary actions, each situation is to be carefully evaluated and investigated. The steps taken in the disciplinary process up to and including termination will depend on the severity of the violation, employee history, and overall consideration for the well-being of the company, its employees, and its customers.
Conclusion. Safety is everyone's responsibility. An injury-free workplace is easy to achieve through recognizing and reporting unsafe conditions and hazards. Wearing your PPE at all times can prevent injuries. Completing a thorough JSA is the first step of all Cinterra tasks. Violating Cinterra safety rules and policies can result in disciplinary action. Welcome to Cinterra.